We're going to be factoring trinomials of the form x squared plus bx plus c. And to get to a trinomial, one of the ways is to multiply two binomials like these that I have on the screen here. So we know how to multiply these. I'll just do a quick review. Remember, we have to distribute this term into both of the terms over here, and then we have to distribute this term into both of the terms over there as well. So if we do that, we get x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 12. And so now we have four terms, but these two, those are like terms, and so we can combine those, and we end up with x squared plus 7x plus 12, just like that. And so this would be our product. And then these two up here at the top, these are the factors. Okay, and if we go like from here to here, this would be multiplying. And if we go from the bottom, if we go from product to factors, then we're factoring. And that's what we're going to do. So what we've been doing is going from here. We've been multiplying these out and getting to here. Now we're going to start with something like this, and we're going to factor it into its two factors. This is a factor, and this is a factor. Just like if you had 7 times 8, and you multiplied those together, and you got 56. 7 and 8 are the factors. 56 is the product. Okay. Now, up here, when we're multiplying binomials, it doesn't look like it, but because this is in parentheses, this is something times some other thing. Doesn't matter what's inside. It's just there's something here times something here, just like there's something here times something here. So this is one factor, and this is another factor. Okay, let's look at this now. This x squared plus 7x plus 12. Now we already know that it factors into x plus 3 and x times x plus 4. Now if we didn't know that, what we would be trying to do is make this into this. And so we would be trying to make it look like this. We'd have x plus something times x plus something. And we don't know what those somethings are, but we know it's x times x because this times this gives us that first term, and it's just x squared. So we know it's x times x. The last term we know comes from multiplying this number, whatever's here, times this number. It's that middle term that's the tough part. And if we look back up here, we've got 3 times x would give us the 3x, and 4 times x gives us the 4x. And then we add those together and get 7. So what we have is, to get to this number here, this 7x, or this quantity, we end up adding, or let's just look at the coefficient. The coefficient is going to come from adding this and this. And this last number is going to come from multiplying this and this. So to get our factors, we're going to put a little middle step inside here where we try to write out our x squared. And we're going to try to write that the middle term, where the middle term came from, this 4x and this 3x. We're going to try to get that. So we know it's plus 12 here at the end. And to get that middle number, it's going to be factors of 12. And those two factors have to add up to, so that add up to 7. So numbers that multiply together to get 12, 4 and 3, that when you add them up, because we add them up right here, we get 7. Factors of 12 that add up to 7. So then you can just start listing factors of 12. And we already know that it's 4 and 3, but if you didn't know it was 4 and 3, just start the first thing you think of, 6 times 2. 6 and 2. Well, that adds up to 8, so that's not going to do it. 1 and 12, that adds up to 13. That's a big nay. 3 and 4, that adds up to 7, so you know you've got your right combination. So then replace this, you get 3x plus 4x And then this would just factor into x plus 3 times x plus 4. We'll do a few examples from start to finish. This is just to get us started. Okay, so here's an example. We've got this trinomial y squared plus 8y plus 7. So remember, we're going to have two factors, so it'll be something times something, right? It's going to be y and y up front because we know that we're going to multiply this times this to get that y squared. And then the last two numbers, it's going to be plus and plus because these are all addition. And the last two numbers, this number times this number will give us this number. So we know it's got to be, when we multiply those two numbers together, it's going to be 7. And then the sum of those two numbers, this number and this number, is going to be 8. So factors of 7. So we'll list factors of 7. And then they have to add up to 8. So, well, 7 is prime, so it's 1 and 7. And then that would be that adds up to 8, so we're good. So we're going to write that middle intermediate step. So we've got y squared plus, and then we're going to replace this 8y with 1y and 7y. So just y, and then plus 7y, and then plus 7. So there's those four terms that we get when we do FOIL, when we multiply this times this, and this times that, and then this times this, and then this times that. There's our four terms right there if we were going in this direction. And now we can simply write y plus 1 and y plus 7. So there's our factored form of this trinomial. Okay, this one's going to have a little more options when we're trying to find factors of 48 that add up to 14. So we know we're going to have x times x plus something. So x plus something times x plus something. So it's going to be factors of 48 that add up to 14. Okay, so factors of 48, 1 and 48. So that's going to be 49, so that's a big no. So we'll put next there. Let's see, what else? 16 and 3. 16 and 3, that adds up to 19. That's a big no. 12 and 4, that adds up to 16. That's no. 6 and 8, there we go, 14. So those factors of 48 are going to give us the 14 that we need. So we're going to replace this 14x with the sum of 6x and 8x, which is the same. So x squared plus 6x plus 8x plus 48. And so now we can rewrite this as x plus 6 times x plus 8. Just like that. Okay, so far we've only been working with trinomials that have addition in both this location and this location. So we'll look at one now where we've got some subtraction. We have subtraction here and here. The process is exactly the same, except that when you're looking for, it'd be factors of negative 28 that add up to negative 3. Okay, and you can see that better if you write this as an addition statement. This is plus negative 3a plus negative 28. Okay, so let's just start with that. Let's factors of 28 that add up to negative 28 that add up to negative 3. So factors of negative 28, so that could be like negative 14 and 2. So that'll give us negative 12. And then we could do 14 and negative 2, and that would give us 12. Neither of these work. Let's see, other factors. So let's do 7 and 3. So 7 and 4. So one of those has to be negative in order to make it multiply together to get negative 28. Let's do that one, negative. So it's negative 7 and 4. That's going to give us negative 3. That is what we want. So we'll replace that. We've got a squared minus 7a plus 4a, and then minus 28, or plus negative 28. So then when we write our factors, it's going to be a minus 7 times a plus 4. And pretty soon there's going to be a coefficient here that's other than 1, and we'll have to do one extra step, but it's not too bad. We'll use a Punnett square to do that, similar to what you would use in science, like when you're finding out, like an eye color or something like that. And that's just another step that works, another tool that we can use. Okay, so there's our last example.